Alright, so we just rolled into Arizona. This is our first campsite. We haven't even set up. We just thought we'd touch base with you guys and say we're back. And
What's up?
probably cut Tina's head off. But so after how many months? 8? We're back.
80.
We'll post more as soon as we get set up. We literally just pulled in. So this is where we're at. We're at Cave Creek Campground. And Coda says hi. Welcome back, guys.
Welcome back, guys.
We are once again sitting on a pile of rocks with a gorgeous view behind us. It's great to be back in Arizona. Do you agree?
I do agree, very much so.
So today, obviously, we're just like, letting everybody know we're still doing the videos. I know last year we didn't get a lot of them done. I think I look back and we're just taking rocks. And
Walk much?
what'd you say?
She could have winged one up the butt.
So last year we didn't do a lot of videos. It was just, we had a lot going on as usual. The other thing is we were kind of finding our way with our YouTube channel. We've talked before, everybody does a bunch of how-tos and life on the road, and we're more about just capturing kind of like our journey and our hikes and our trips and things like that. So we didn't do a lot last year. I still had a ton of videos, a ton of footage that I never ended up compiling or editing and getting out there. Maybe someday we'll go back and put some of that out and do some more videos. But it's really time and labor intensive. I might put in anywhere from 50 to 100 hours on editing a video. And, a lot of that's just my OCD.
I was just gonna say that.
So today, we're going to talk a little bit about what we do in the off season. We've mentioned before, we've had a lot of people ask us, we run a fish hatchery in South Dakota. And this is our, what, 4th season?
Yeeper.
So our 4th year into it, what that typically entails is we raise like cold water game fish. So we do like
Walleye, perch,
muskie, smallmouth bass, and all these fish either go to like state contracts or private individuals to stock ponds or lakes all across the country. This year basically there was a change of ownership. So there was about a 2-3 week period where the business was closing down and we were switching owners. So that was just incredibly stressful for us, not knowing, if we were going to continue to have work or, what we we're going to be doing.
Not knowing a lot.
One of the hardest things is we typically have anywhere from 4 to 8 individuals working for us. So during that time period, we had to let all of our employees go. We had just some phenomenal young men.
Best group ever.
Local from South Dakota, and some guys that actually moved out, from other parts of the country to come in and work with our program. So that was really difficult to let all those guys go. Just a shout out to all of them, Ben and
Phil and
Darren, Tim,
Garrett,
and
Alex,
and of course Alex.
Of course.
Alex might come down and visit us this winter. It'd be cool to hike with him. So, more on a little bit of history, a little bit of, over the years I haven't done any like YouTube or Facebook or any of that stuff during the work season. It's incredibly intense, and it's tense.
Tense and intense.
And for us, it entails 8 months of 8 to 14-hour days, 7 days a week. So we don't have a lot of time. I don't even break out the cameras, video, do any of that stuff. Over the years, though, like I said, over 4 seasons, we have compiled, collected just a few little videos about what we do. Talk about kind of like what the process is and when we start.
So pretty much in the spring, as far as starting up goes, there's a lot of, moving around fish to get them stocked in our lake so they can spawn. And usually about April, we start getting in fry of all kinds of different species. So
all that goes. We actually strip our walleye as well.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So, we basically collect our adult walleye, the males and females, sort them. We'd strip the eggs, fertilize them, and then at that point they would go into the hatchery for about 2 weeks.
Who's counting?
At that point, then we would take them and stock them into some of our remote lakes. We leased about 2,000 acres of water remotely, and then on the fish farm itself, we had 6 line ponds and then 4 dirt ones.
Yes,
I think so. Yep. That we cultured fish in every year. So it is just endless work, stripping the fish and stocking the fry and maintaining the equipment, launching boats and trucks and trailers and cleaning tanks and
testing our waters.
And then once you get into about May, the feed program starts.
It's nonstop.
And that entails basically going out and collecting different sizes of feed for the fish that we're culturing. And bringing them back to either the hatchery or the farm to feed these fish. So that's just, hours and hours of boat work and driving around and hauling fish and transporting product around. The hatchery itself.
That's very intensive. It's constant with the feed, but then also you're maintaining the equipment as far as keeping the tanks clean and constantly siphoning the tanks, so the fish stay healthy, and it's just very intensive. Usually we've got it kind of down pat, depending on how busy the hatchery's going. It's all 12 hours a day, I'd say.
It's all but around the clock at times. I'm getting alarms and alerts that certain environmental factors are changing in the hatchery at 2 in the morning, so I'll have to go out and check temperature and water flow, all that good stuff. So we're kind of married to that hatchery for 3 months.
Good solid 4 months, yeah.
4 months, yeah.
For sure.
And then basically the employees that work for us, they're doing a lot of the remote work at that point. So that was about the time period that we changed ownership this year, and we were actually briefly shut down for a few weeks. So everything had been moved out of the hatchery. We stocked them into the ponds of the lakes, and then you know, it turns into the food collection time. So Tina and I, we did a ton of that. We jumped in and, you know, we were out running minnow traps and nets every day, collecting, you know, small minnows to bring back to the farm. That's just a lot of, you know, wader work, boat work, mud work, lugging buckets around. I think in, you know, a 2-month time period, I think you and I trapped about 26,000 pounds of minnows that we, you know, ran out and collected these traps and nets every day and brought them back to the farm to feed. So we'd run all our gear, run our nets, run our traps, and then bring them back and actually feed according, you know, to what ponds needed to feed. That
size.
Yeah, based on size and feed requirements. So that was just an absolute grind for months and months and months, on top of maintaining the farm and the equipment and the tanks, and do everything else in there. And at that point, then we move on to, later in the year to fall, late summer, fall, and we start harvest.
Woohoo!
So, so the harvest process, that's when it's literally all hands on deck and just going like monsters and doing everything you can every day. The wind's not blowing, the rain's not, whipping you in the face. And
Say, we lucked out this year as far as weather goes. It was nice.
That being said, Tina and I, did probably 90% of, we handled the load as far as harvesting all the fish. That's harvesting, the muskie on the farm and seining those and chasing them down the drain and getting them back to a harvester and loading them on trucks and bringing them into the shed and grading them and sizing them and counting them and then loading them onto transports.
And that's just one pond, one species.
Yeah.
We had what? 6 more ponds that we had to harvest?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So,
and then all the remote legs, we're out setting bike nets, running gear every day. The nets are 60, 70 pounds probably when they're wet. They're 70, 80 pounds. Hauling them out, deploying them, setting them, bringing them back in as they get dirty, swapping them out, hauling them back to the farm, patching them, cleaning them, pressure washing them. So that's just a crazy amount of work out in the elements, and it was it was really cool. We had some pretty good success. It's just awesome to stock ounces of fry into a lake in May, and then show up in September and you're pulling thousands of pounds out. It might be 10, 20, 50, 100 pounds a day, but at the end of that harvest period, you pulled 1,000 pounds of walleye fingerlings out, and it's all product that you grew, and then they get distributed all across the country. So it's really, really, really rewarding on that aspect.
that's the exciting part.
Yeah.
Is to see, the size and how much you get out of the lake, and just knowing that, okay, we stock these fish.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then think about the end result. Like I said, where they're all going to. That's really exciting for me. how many kids are going to catch these fish, or how many are going to grow up to potentially be trophy fish in a lake. Or,
Oh, absolutely.
That being said, there's a lot of disappointment and a lot of heartache in that business. You're dealing with Mother Nature, and out of the 10 lakes you stocked that tested really well and everything seemed to go right, and you show up and either birds will destroy everything,
The fried intake,
or just other variables that cause it not to work. So it's like farming, but we don't have crop insurance, so it's a big gamble every year.
It's a shooting match.
So that's kind of what we do, and what we've been doing. As it stands right now, we are going to continue doing this. We're kind of in discussion now with the new owner to develop a plan for this next season. There is a small window that we might not be able to come to terms, and at that point, possibly, Tina and I are going to be looking to relocate or work camp, or so
Move on to something else.
that could be exciting, not only for us, but also for you guys to kind of see what our next step is as far as what we move into and get into. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're going to stick with raising fish. It's
In our blood.
kind of in our blood. We've got a lot of sweat and tears and blood, and invested in that place, and so it'd be kind of a shame to kind of walk away from it. But that is what it is. So that's kind of a long-winded discussion about what we've been doing, or what we do. And now we're just starting out our off-season. And really looking forward to just kind of healing mentally and catching our breath and enjoying just amazing Arizona scenery.
Absolutely.
And just kind of spending some non-work time together.
Recouping.
We work together, we are together 365 days a year. We don't vacation this part. We work the same job, and it's been that way for years for us, and it works out really good.
Absolutely.
That being said, being under those constraints or conditions of working together 24/7, it affects our relationship a little bit. So to come down here and actually take, we talked about it before, but that few months to kind of heal ourselves, but also to reestablish, our bonds and what we enjoy doing and spending time together. So it's a good, exciting time for us.
We love it.
It's been like a week so far that we've been down here,
I think we're going on our second week, but yeah.
and I'm still wired, so to speak. The intensity level that we run at, and the mental and physical, it's really hard to just flip a switch and now suddenly I'm on vacation.
Absolutely.
And we've addressed that before too. That's why I struggle with how anybody can, be in a high intense work environment and raising a family and doing with all the stresses of life, and only having that 1 week or 2 week, time off a year. It takes you a week just to drop your guard and kind of relax and realize what's important. So by the time you get through that first week vacation, it's time to go back to work, and you're already stressed out again. So,
Right.
I don't know. This lifestyle really works for us, and I wouldn't mind maintaining this the rest of my life.
Definitely.
Going like crazy for an extended period of time, and then having an extended period of time to relax and enjoy and shoot video and hike.
You bet.
All right. Anything else to say?
I'm just excited to be here.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. And that's the other thing too. Here we are. We're our fourth season into it, and we're still going to a lot of the same places today. We're at Lost Dutchman State Park, one of our favorite parks, and we're almost getting into a little bit of a routine. We do mix it up and do a few things different, but we're always looking for fun, new, and exciting things to do. It's just that we've just fallen in love with
Certain parks,
the
and
places
certain
we've
areas,
been. And
yeah.
Absolutely. So
Even if we've done the same hikes or whatever, just the scenery alone, for me, it's just amazing. I can never get enough of it. So just because you've done the same hike 5 times, it's like you're always seeing something different, or the weather's different, and it's just awesome photography too. So
Yeah,
I'm down with that.
I mean, I could live here and you could hike the same mountain, the same trail every day, and I think everybody knows that. It changes by the hour, by the season, by the the views and just the lighting and everything. So
for me, it's just good to be out. That's what I look forward to.
Absolutely.
Mother Nature is my friend.
Okay. So
did you like that?
I guess that's about it. We're gonna kind of get going and do some more hiking today, and obviously we're gonna do some biking. We're getting into that. I did some big changes on my bike this year. I'm pretty excited about. We're still in that beginner entry level stage. You honestly look at it, and we've been on a bike for 2.5, 3 months. I mean, we just started halfway through last season, so
still a lot to learn.
That's really new to us, but I'm really optimistic and excited about it. So
definitely
cool. Any new subscribers? Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe. And those that have been hanging with us from season 3, 2, 1, all the way back to the beginning.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you guys so much for all the positive feedback and comments.
We appreciate everything you guys have done.
Yep. Take care.
See ya.
Okay, so we have decided to name her Coda. Hi, Coda. What a good girl. And I'm pretty sure this is Coda's first experience with water. So, get up. She went in the water once already and it didn't work so good. That's a crazy dog right there. Pond gets slippery. On the doggy treadmill. bye.